Okay. So what are bitwise operators? Like sometime, like you might have heard about these keywords like
Okay.
AND operator or JOR and NOT. These are the like what we call it as gates. We in electronics we call it as gates, logic gates. Basically, we would have AND gate, NOR gate, NAND gate, XOR gate, XOR gate. We have, right. So basically, in
Yeah,
Python
yeah.
also we have these logics. So basically these are logics, and behind the scene also they
Voice
will.
is not audible, Sharma.
Hello, 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 hello,
Hello.
hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
हाँ Sharmukh, आवाज your voice was not audible, but now it is
Now
fine.
it's fine, right? Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
So in Python also we have the same kind of logic, and behind the scene they use gates itself. Like what we have logic gates in electronics, they also use the same thing
Okay.
to match whether both are same or not. To match one is off, one is
Oh,
on. Those kind of operations they will be using the gates as well. So wherever if
okay.
for the next time whenever you use if or else condition while using and or and jar, remember that these actually uh, operating using logic gates only. Okay, so that is the main thing.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
they verify using that as well, with using those logics itself. So basically we can find and or zor. These are the respective
Okay.
symbols for them. So, and is what the operator. This is what
Yeah.
the pipe symbol we will be using for like symbol
Or
for or, and this is for jar, and this is for not,
okay.
and this is for right shift, and
Okay.
this is for left shift. What it actually does, i'll uh, I'll explain in a while. So
Okay.
in if statements we'll be using and, that we never use this symbol. We will be only using this symbol. We actually write and or. We actually write it. We cannot use these symbols because these are operators. But if condition uses the logic, but also we cannot use this symbol in the loop. We'll be using and or directly. We'll be using those. Okay, those are different and these are slightly different. So let me show one of the example how it
Okay.
matches. For example, a equal to 0 I'm writing. The reason why I'm using 0 and 1,
Yeah.
because in Python 0 is termed to be false, which is a boolean thing, and 1 is considered as true, which is a boolean thing. False and these are the one of the data type we can find,
False
false
and one
and
true.
false and true. This is
Okay.
also a data type. We call it as Boolean data types. Boolean, uh,
Bull.
Boolean. Yeah,
Okay.
we call it as bool.
Yeah.
So true and one are same, false
Yeah.
and zero are considered to be same. Or else vice versa also you can use. You can directly write as false. Here also you can directly write as true. Okay. And it should start with the capital letter. The first alphabet should be capital and rest followed by small. So what I'll do, A and B. What should be the output here? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Sharmukh, your voice is breaking and your
Hello?
हाँ Sharmukh.
Hi. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah.
I think my
My
audio.
network is fine.
Okay. I think it's from my side. It might be. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me share my screen again. Mm, okay. We have stopped here. So,
Okay.
so, so if I use an AND operator here, so
Yeah.
what would be the output if 0 and 1, if you use and operator in between one true value and one false value, what would be the response? It would be
False. False.
So you got 0 as the output. And
Yeah.
what in case of true and true?
True. Only in the case of true true we will get true, else we will get false in all the other cases.
Yes, same applies for the OR operator as well. You can use this pipe symbol
Okay.
and you can check
But
A or B, you
yeah.
got 1. Similarly, you have jar also. So basically, it gives true when there are two opposite numbers. If same numbers are there, then it should give 0.
Yeah.
If you do B versus B also, it will give 0. Okay, that is what
Yeah.
with XOR. And also we have not symbol, so we'll be using this particular symbol. I don't know what's the exact name of this symbol. And you can give 1, so it will give -2. And so basically it's little bit difficult to understand. Rather it should give 0, what you might have think for this. But it for you want to get actual thing, then uh, one
Means
uh,
I think for the not it is considering means taking as the complement of one
correct,
that
it's
we.
actually complement, correct. Not symbol is
Yeah.
basically the complement. But actually we use no, for not symbol, I think this is no, this is syntax. No, okay, sorry, I was just getting confused. Okay, that's what it's taking the complement. It's basically one is complement. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the information that I have with logic operators. And basically inverting the bits is what one is we call it as, right? And after doing
Yeah.
that, if we have some other extended work, then it is called as 2s. So basically it's one is operation. Then we have right shift and left shift operator. What these operators are, for example, I have written 16, and left shift I will be doing 4. Then I
Yeah.
got 256 as the value. Let me do right shift and check the value. That is 1. So what's it's actually doing, try to understand what it's doing. Just find the relation, what's something is happening here.
Yeah. I think
What's
there is a
happening?
shortcut for finding the
Finding the
right and left shift. Right and left shift. If like
huh
we have the number and the means we can consider 4 as n.
hmm
Think I am missing that formula, but there was a shortcut to find any
hmm
left shift and right shift of
okay, let's see here what it's mentioned here. So let's go with that. So shifts are the bits of the
2 ka
numbers to the
power.
right, fails 0 on void. So basically
Hmm.
this is the behind the scene what it's doing. So basically what it does, so first it converts to binary number, okay, as you know.
Okay.
And also it converts, for example, if you are doing a right shift, this is right shift, okay, and after that you have written 1. That means that the one of the digit will be shifted to the right. So
Yeah.
this particular number has been shifted to the right side because you have mentioned one time you are shifting it. If you are if you mention 2 here, that means 2 times it will shift, then again 0 will come here, then
Yeah.
find the
And
value.
Shanmugh, like uh, there is also one like formula like currently what is this
That
right
we
shift?
have. Correct,
Yeah.
correct,
So
correct.
we have if we have number then right shift something. So we
Hmm.
can consider it as n.
Hmm.
So for getting the right shift, we can do like number divided by 2 to the power n, and for
Correct.
the left shift, number into 2 to the power n.
Yeah, that's what. For some of the mathematical problem statements, you directly can use for left shift and right shift. So
Yeah.
that gives you some multiplications of multiplications. Let me show that as well. It's not mentioned here. Hmm, I think it's not mentioned here, but yeah, that's what the thing is. That's the reason here. See, you have 64 here. So 16 into
Yeah.
4 is 64. So so basically it's multiplying twice. If you do one here, words it should give 32. 16 into 2 it is doing. And if
Yeah,
you do
16 into 2,
say,
2 to the power 1. Like
correct,
here, 16 into 2 to the power 2, 16 into 2 to the power 3.
perfect. And vice versa for
Yeah. Now
right shift
16
as
divided by 2 to the power 3.
correct.
Or, yeah,
Correct. 2 to the power 3 is 8 and 16 by
yeah,
that's what.
divided by 8 too.
So that's the thing with left shift and right shift. So that to make your calculations easier. If you use arithmetic operators, it will also do. But if you use these operators, you will get very quick answers. The reason is that actually it's trying to change the bits. So what it's trying to do, it converts the 16 into binary, and it
Yeah,
just shifts 3 bits. That's it. Then your problem got solved and it decodes to integer and you got the answer. But when you use arithmetic
okay.
operators, what will happen? And behind the scene, it will take little bit of time in making the operations. That's what the main differences lies. So
Yeah,
basically, what would be easier for machine? Converting into bits, shifting the bits. What is the easiest approach, right? That's what the thing.
yeah,
So
okay.
this is what with operators. This is what we call it asterisk, correct? The star or asterisk.
Asterisk. Yeah,
And one of the thing we missed it out in strings, we have something in Python we called it as wildcards. So if I search for
yeah.
wildcards in Python, what are wildcards?
Wild cards are means uh
Hmm.
the characters like
So
wildcard
basically,
character,
we have mostly two
question
wildcards.
mark, then
One is star, the other one is
dollar.
question mark. So we have two wildcards here. So for example, this is a module we known as regular
So only
expressions.
two wild cards are there in
Yeah,
Python.
in Python only two, and there is a dot also, but I don't. I have no idea whether it is the part of Python or not, but there is a wildcard. In SQL also you can find these wildcards. So basically when you match some string with some string with some X string with some Y string, you will be matching, but you don't have any idea of the some characters. For example, whether you know that the string starts with S, but you don't know the rest of the thing. But you want all the strings starting with S. For these type of operations you can use wildcards. So basically it is mostly useful in SQL, but Python we have a little bit limited only. So asterisk or the character can use to specify any number of characters. So any number of characters, the asterisk is typically used at the conclusion of the root word. It is necessary to look of the words and denotes one. Okay, you can replace any character with question mark, any single character. If you want to, if you don't know about, if you don't have the clarity of a single character, instead of using that uh, like instead of using star, you can go for this question mark. And
Okay,
if you don't know about a group of characters, continuous group of characters, then you can go for
then
this asterisk. So this is what
okay,
basic example you can find here. So so RE is regular expression is a library, very prominent library you can find in Python, which only deals with the string operations. Okay, so basically it is very much
okay,
useful in using string operations like matching sentences. So if you want to fetch some of the information, or example, you have a complete content, you have like a paragraph or 2 to 3 paragraphs you have, but your goal is to find some URLs. Only
okay,
use case is to fetch URLs from the content. So you in future you might get such use cases. Being a data engineer or being a data scientist, you will have these use cases, so that because basically these operations are used in EDA process, basically filtering of your data. or in the phase of extraction of your ETL. In ETL, wherever you are extracting and filtering, in that particular stage, these operations would be playing a key role. And when it comes to data science, while we in the process of EDA, we will be filtering a piece of information. So
Okay.
there we will be using this because we don't uh, because there is it's not making any sense using an entire content rather than using direct URLs. Okay, in those cases, in the filtering stage, you only need URLs. Okay, in those cases, what you will do, you will be using this regular expression library where you will do matching, fetching, and all the operations are there. So we
Okay.
can cover these particular library in later stage. So basically, here you can use these wildcards basically, so it can replaces your things. Basically, it useful in matching and fetching a piece of information from those things. So that is what everything about strings and numbers. And there are lots more, but when we move to a little bit advanced level, we can cover those up. And
Okay.
okay, let's start with a little bit higher data types, which are starting from list. So let's start with list, and we'll give some basic descriptions or definition of list and arrays, difference between array and list. Then we'll do 2 to 3 uh, smaller use cases, like smaller problems. Then we can shift to the other data types. So basically, why there is a need of list, or what do you think, what is difference between an array and a list?
So one difference is that in an array we can have only a group of a single data type,
Data
but in
type.
list,
Perfect.
yeah,
Perfect.
we can have
Perfect.
a group of multiple data
So
types.
in Python, list and arrays are the same, or it is different?
In Python, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Carry on.
so we
And
can A13 is array and A1df is list.
but what
Or
about the
means
data
a
type?
list
Are the
can
both
be
the data
what we can
types?
say, like array can be a list, but list cannot be an array.
Hmm. Int object is not callable. I'm just, what happened? Uh,
Int object is not callable.
I don't know why it's giving such. What happened to it? Uh, did am I
Can you print
missing?
A?
Yeah, it's working out.
So why type of A?
What's happened? Int object is not callable. Type of B. Something happened. I think a dot type. No, we can't use this type as.
Type of.
Type of I'm doing no. Let me check. Mhm. I don't know why
I
it's
think type of should be written like type of.
no. Only we have to mention like this only. One. Then if you want to check the type, something happened. Okay. This is the reason why you are getting error. The reason is that yeah, I said right, we cannot use illegal keywords for storing the values in This registered
Okay.
keywords. Earlier, we have used this keyword for storing some values. If you remember, if I use type equal to it, if I used to search what is type, it's giving 6 because I already
Okay. Okay.
stored
Okay.
somewhere. This is the reason why we should not use
We don't.
registered
Okay.
keywords. And if
Okay.
I
Okay.
also use print and I store some value 23, it will work. But if I use some print statement in future, it will give error. This is what the reason is.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
In now, how can you proceed with it? This is a challenge when you stuck with this kind of configurations or mishappens, because already the RAM stored these values. Now you can't even reset this one.
So we can write type is equal to type or something like that.
Even you can't, that
How?
is illegal na? Type for example,
Yeah. Yeah.
what you are saying, that type equal to type, that is
Type.
okay, but this type is itself giving error. So what you, the only
So
option
we
you
can
have
delete that
is
particular IP.
in order to,
Okay.
no, you can't delete even you can delete that id, but removing id, delete id, then delete that. I don't think how to I'm unable to recall by deleting the id, but what the thing we can do is you can click on this restart
Restart.
kernel, so that it will
Okay.
erase all the stuff stored in your ram, because it's not stored in your static memory. It's like it's stored in your ram itself. So if you once
Dynamic.
just um, you can just reset your ram, it will just take a little bit of time. But one of the disadvantage would be it will lose all the previous informations. Like it will store the things, like for example, this is what you have done, the return statements would be there. But if I try to check what the things are stored in a, so it will
Okay.
give
Okay.
error,
That will be removed.
that will
Okay.
be removed. So if I am now it's if
Name
I
A is not
check for
defined.
a name, a is not defined, that's what the thing. Then you have to again execute this particular piece, and now you can check type of a, and let's proceed with the stuff type of b. So
List.
both are list. So in Python, both are
Yeah.
considered as list, whether it would be a like a
Array
array
or a
or
list.
an array.
Yeah.
So what all are the things you can store in an array? Any guess? What
Array.
all are the things you can store in an array? Like here I have stored one like
Number
integers,
strings.
and the other one is strings and numbers, strings and
Number string tuple
tuples
and
and yeah,
any data type we can store in a list.
yeah. We can store any data type in a list, uh, including all data types. Apart from data types, we even can store variables as well. For example, some variable
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah.
am declaring here, like db equal to some string. Okay, I can store this object. We usually call the variables as objects in Python. Okay, so we can
Okay.
store these objects in list directly. For example, 1 comma 2 comma db. If it is not
Okay.
defined, then it would be issue for it. Otherwise, it will work. Apart from these objects, so object means not only variables, even if you have any objects of class. Okay. For example, in OOPS, we have class objects and all, right? Even those objects
Yeah.
can be stored in an list, in a list.
List. Okay.
Even that, you can store some files also directly. If you have 5 images or 6 7 images, you can directly store these images in list. And actually I
Mm-hmm.
have used this list feature in storing the images, and I have used these images, and for visualization purpose and for training purpose, I have used this particular list where I
Mm.
have about like around 800 images were there, and I have used these images for training purpose in a loop, continuous loop.
Okay,
So
okay.
here, what is the advantage of list? And there is a, of course, there is some rules here. So list has you only can separate. So before starting going to into list, what these are called? These are called as items. In a list,
Yeah,
if you
items.
see a piece of information, it is called as list. Items
Yeah.
are a comma separated objects or
Oh,
piece of
objects.
information which you call as items. So
Yeah.
if I do for I in A, we usually write for I in A, for I in list, print I, right?
Yeah.
So what the I means here? Now I for items. This is what for I in A, print I. Now what the I is items here. For I A was a list, right, where we have 1 and 3. So what it's trying to tell you, for item in A, print item. So that's what the thing here. Similarly, for I in range of 2, print I. What I here? Now the I would be
Range of, yeah, zero.
now the I is what? Iterator. We
Yeah,
call I
iterator.
here
Yeah. Zero,
iterator,
one.
because when it comes to list, it behaves as a items, but when it comes to I in
Range.
range of some numbers, it is called as
Yeah.
iterator. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you want to print items in particular list, what you can do, print A of index numbers. These are the
I.
index numbers. So yeah,
Okay.
this is how you can read the values inside a list.
List. Okay.
And if you want to assign some values or change some values in a list, you can't go with this process, because you are just, you can fetch the piece of information. You, if you can only find what the items are, but you can't replace the items directly here. For example, if I want to change the second place, so I can't do I equal to so if I equal to 3, then A equal to, I want to change the item to 6. Okay, let's try whether
Okay.
it is working or not. Okay, I have executed the particular thing, and let me try for A. See what's happening here. By changing the value, the entire data type has been changed. Now there was a list, but it changed to again, the data type itself has changed. The value has been assigned, reassigned to A. Now the A has only 6. It changed entirely. So if you want to change piece of information, what method you can follow? The method item reassignment, that this method you can follow. So where you have 1 and 3, but what you can do, if A of I equal to 3, then A of I equal to, this is what I assignment operator, this single equal is called as assignment assign operator, and this double equal symbols are used for
Equal.
equal or equating operator, something we call it as. Okay, now I want to reassign this value, and let's check what's the A has now. The value has been changed.
One and six.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what with list. And same thing if you have A equal to in tuples. Lists and tuples both are same, nothing much difference. But the only thing is that if I have two values in A, like same 1 and
And
3,
we cannot means assign any.
and
We
you
cannot
can't,
change the
correct.
item
Item
in a tuple.
assignment, it's already thrown expression like exception. The tuple object does not support
Yeah.
item assignment. Rest all the same. Rest all are same. So what are the benefit you will be getting from tuple? So having this non-item assignment, so you can use tuples in your passwords and all, where it can't be changed further. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And and list has, for example, A equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. So I have defined some values, and there are some like operations available for list. One is append,
Operations. Yeah.
which appends the data at the last of your
Yeah.
in at the last index
List.
value it occupies. Then you have clear, so it will clear all your values. It has copy, if you want to copy the array or list to some other piece of information. So basically this is something interesting feature that you have to that you should have idea about. So for example, a I have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay,
Okay.
so now what I'm doing, I want to copy it in some variable, so I can use b equal to a also. So what happens, a comma b, if I check, I will have the
Same.
values. Okay,
Okay.
that
Huh.
means what you will think, that means it has been copied, correct? But what I
Yeah.
say, what I will say, these are not same, these are not copied, these are not copied yet, these are, rather than copying, these are pointing to the same value. For example, if I change some value, I'm changing the index to number 10. Okay,
Okay.
for which of the list I'm changing? For the list a. Okay,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
let me check the a. For a it has been
To
changed,
10. Yeah.
but you will get the changes for b as well. So you should never think that I have copied the value to some other and I have changed,
Okay.
but
We
it
are assigning
reflected
the
to
value that
b.
yeah,
It,
B also.
no, you already assigned it previously. But also
Okay.
if you later, after assigning also, if you change some of the values for one of the list, it reflects the same changes for b as well, because b
Because
also
yeah,
pointing
it
to
is
the
stored
same
in the
value.
same ID.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't apply to other things. For example, c equal to 7 and d equal to c. Okay,
Yeah.
so now c comma d will have the same value 7 7. But if I want to
Yeah.
change value c equal to 6, then what should be the c and d values?
6.
No, d would be 7. Here it is the thing
Okay. Okay.
that that doesn't implies for all the things, but specifically when it applies to list, it would reflect the thing. Okay, this is what the difference is. For integers, for integers and other piece of informations, it actually copies. If you want to make some copy, for example, I want to make a copy of c here. Okay, so I will make a copy like by using this assignment operator d equal to c. This will work for integers, and this actually means like it's copying a number. And if you change some piece of information of one of the variable, it won't affect to the other variable. But when it comes to list, it actually disturbs the other variable as well. So in that case, what
Okay.
you can do, rather than using b equal to a here, what you can do, b equal to a dot copy.
Copy. Okay.
This thing you can do, and after copying, a and b would be same. Now I will be changing the value to 15, and let's
Okay.
check a has been changed. Then b
15.
should
Yeah.
not change, b should not changed,
Yeah.
b is
B is
unchanged.
not.
That's the reason the copy functionality has been given. Okay,
Okay.
append over, clear over, copy over, count will give the total number of items. What is the total number of items you have in your list? That's what it's give. Extend is what, if you want to see, appending a particular value is possible, appending a particular valuable variable, a single variable is possible. But what if you want to append a list, entire list, if you want to append?